Bueno, continuamos. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Tuvimos un panel fantástico sobre cómo vencer barreras que nos impiden tener
We are going to continue. And it's an honor and a great pleasure to introduce a very important person in our region. Is the Digital Transformation Vice Minister of the Ministry of Technology and Transformation of Colombia, Germán Rueda. Welcome to the School of Governance. In this time virtual, I want to tell you that this is the 12th edition of the South School, and Colombia is a very important country for the school. We organized our 4th meeting in 2012, and there was a change after that, because the TIC minister at the time, Mr. Diego Molano, gave it a lot of importance. We started to have more than 150 and 200 students. He told us we needed remote participation and a lot of presence in the social media, social networks, and we have had simultaneous translation always, but we didn't have remote participation. And after Colombia, we wanted to continue doing it. So that's why Colombia is so important for us. And it's a great pleasure to have you here with us, Mr. Vice Minister. We have students from all over Latin America, Asia, Africa, and Europe. Because of these online formats that we have. So welcome to the school. It's a great pleasure to have you with us. Colombia is always at the forefront, and it goes beyond all the rest of developments in technology and communication in the region. So it's a great pleasure to have you here to share your experiences with that.
Thank you very much, Olga. It's a great honor to have you here. You know that the work that we do in collaboration with you and with all the stakeholders in internet governance intends to provide a better service to people. Thank you for your invitation. It's an honor. And first and foremost, I would like to thank all of you that are connected, the future leaders. I'm so excited to have so many young people interested in internet governance, and especially with the pandemic, this digital transformation has accelerated. It demands from us to do a lot of work to close these divides. That's why I'm glad to be here sharing our experience. And we try to do as much as we can. I firmly believe in the co-creation and the participation of all stakeholders. So I know that you are the future and you are the ones that guide the new objectives of the new information society, defining and policy making, and this new world that becomes increasingly faster with these processes. So I would like to resume my presentation. In the first slide, what I would like to share in general terms from the point of view of Colombia, and tell you that we have worked together with President Duque in consented digital transformation. In our strategic plan at the country level, for the 4 years, we have some guidelines or pillars that we are trying to intend to get there with equality, legally, and with entrepreneurship, and especially the Vice Ministry of digital transformation at the ministries what drive us to do our work to facilitate access to citizens and to improve the way of life to academicians, politicians, and all the Colombians that live in our territory. In consistency or in line with our policy in our system, we want to transform this equally, legally, and promoting digital ventures, supporting all sorts of companies, whether they're SMEs or large, understanding that we all have digital divide, digital illiteracy, accessibility, and we're working for to provide best opportunities to everybody. And there are many actions that we can take on so this could serve as a new platform for improving digital transformation. It's the first time that we have a whole chapter and a treaty on digital transformation. So this became operational as a law where we are bound to anticipate a whole set of strategies that makes Colombia to accelerate digital transformation, where the public sector is required to use data smartly and disruptive technologies to improve efficiency, competitiveness, and to create development. Colombia is heading towards a new digital society. There are many challenges ahead of us, but precisely along these lines, we're working on to reach all our geographies and to work comprehensively with human talent to promote private investment, leverage, and these disruptive technologies by driving digital transformation in Colombia. As a TIC or ICT ministry, we have two pillars, connectivity and infrastructure, which is key and that we have developed so far. And also the other pillar is digital transformation. So very briefly, I would like to give you an idea of the key indicators and the projects or initiatives that we have underway. Because when we speak of internet governance and access infrastructure and providing opportunities, that's precisely how we accelerate this process. Where by next year, before 2021, to have 500,000 households connected with special social prices, special rates for the most vulnerable sectors of society, and especially those that are in need of access. Through these plans and social prices, we're trying to make head. For example, we have in our plan 500,000 households. We're working with digital areas and rural sectors or digital signals in rural sectors, especially in places where historically there was no way of accessing this accessing the internet. Right now it could be possible, and also by auctioning the spectrum in the ITC where we worked on was 3,600 localities to strengthen transformation, strengthen the sector, creating more equality. And by this law, we create the spectrum auction of 4G, where we are going to cover 3,600 municipalities. So these people that are marginalized probably are going to have for the first time access to the internet. We tried the 5G and we have pilots underway. And very briefly, we have the public offering to have the deployment of 10,000 new digital centers across the country for the first time in our history. We have this connectivity guarantee for 10 years, which is very important, which is transcends all governments or administrations. And we are primarily focusing on educational centers or schools. Okay. Also in healthcare, community centers, but it's paramount, especially when we want to strike a balance in closing those gaps, providing free access in these 10,000 digital centers. In terms of digital transformation, let me tell you how we are framing these schemes. All this connectivity, why we're providing that connectivity? Because we want to promote people, development of companies, and developing the state with the necessary stakeholders, always pursuing links with trade unions, civil society, the academic sector, because it's important to bring them on board, having all these perspectives and stakeholders. Primarily, I will focus on inclusion, which is a topic of interest that I was asked to deliver today. But let me share with you by giving you a snapshot on the work that we are doing at the state level. As part of digital transformation, we want to bring benefits to all Colombians. This is part of the responsibility. And based on these new ways, we're solving traditional problems, both in public administration and in those people that work, the employees that work there. The citizenry and internet governance that allows to open this cooperation, international treaties to provide social inclusion, e-commerce. Those are the main pillars that we need to consider for the public agenda. The following example explains the strategy or the methodology where it's based on three pillars. The first one is to support public policy digitally at the national territorial level. Under guidelines, we have a follow-up of public policy, defining it through guidelines, frameworks, and regulations, and then to implement them to promote the modernization of the state, digital citizenry services. And we're taking that across Colombia to promote public officials' capabilities, technological leaders, to promote their digital capabilities through initiatives like the Catalyst of Innovation and the Digital Public Innovation Centers. The following example explains some of the recent progress made, and I urge you, for those of you that are want to become familiar with our development, to look for Compass that makes up the policies in Colombia of artificial intelligence and digital transformation, which make up two full documents that are here on screen. And I see that this is one of the topics of interest. We have an ethical framework for AI, for sending sand beaches and sandbox, including the stakeholders and understand the way these technologies impact population and to draw some conclusions to make the necessary adjustments at the regulatory level and all these related aspects. Also, we have the guidelines for blockchain to apply it in the public sector. In Colombia, apart from this, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to have the second edition. We're going to gather opinions and consultations, which is very important because I'm not aware of how these processes are across the region. However, in Colombia, we have done a very participatory pluralist system, and they're open for public consultation to enhance the feedback because the internet governance exercise should contemplate all the stakeholders and needs. But a very important example is what we're doing in connection with the finance department or the finance superintendents, because we apply the sandbox frameworks where we are going to understand clearly the check-in and check-out of crypto assets, cryptocurrencies, and understanding and anticipating these technologies and how they impact those processes. We're developing these procedures to understand clearly what we need at the country level in different sectors, at policymaking, regulation, whether it is law or draft resolutions, public sector, and different agencies involved. We do have the advantage to have the Center for the Fourth Industrial Resolution that is part of the World Economic Forum based in Medellin with a regional perspectives. Since we're focused on Colombia and based in Colombia, we're part of this executive directing community. We have IoT, blockchain, IA, and we are going to see in the next month some results out of the work produced this year. And we have the Plan of Action 2021 faced with some practical examples or best lessons for best practices for the region, gathering some of the experience that we have, and also recommendations on public policy and for the private sector, as for the steering committees on how, based on different point of views, we can support this with different solutions. Also, the business point of view. We were in line with corporations, providing assistance to them. As ITC ministry, we have an agency focused on innovation and development of ventures that is called Impulse. We work hand in hand by developing the strategy of entrepreneurship. And we do have companies that are well established, and we are providing motivation and promoting them to establish these activities. So we are trying to develop the talent of these companies to consolidate their business model, appropriate their own technology or develop their own technology, and make the digital necessary transformation. Sofistica is done with Colombia Productiva. And we are enhancing productivity, make processes more sophisticated, and the utilities or the services provided by companies, which is key for the productivity of our country. We are co-funding this. Some of them are based on e-learning, some of them are primarily focused on SMEs, others in large corporations. So we have a macro vision to promote this promotion of technology, of new technology, and what we can learn from this digital transformation, and including I&D or research and development. We also are working with Technolab. It's a project that is going to be launched in the next 2 weeks. It's the first 100% virtual lab to create or to incubate these ideas for a company. So we call for bids because we are interested in challenges. And we're going to be sending standardized methodologies on forms, creating the know-how, creating the installed capacity in companies. By its own motion, probably they can implement the model de mouse scientifically from the structural point of view and regularly applying this to different ventures. So, you can come up with very, very good technological solutions. Then we have the Business Digital Transformation Centers, the CTDs. We were awarded the WISES program in e-commerce. It's a strategy that intends to provide businessmen with technical assistance that is customized to accelerate digital transformation. Between 18 and 19, the program that started, we recovered 18 centers, 11,000 companies came on board, and we would like to end with 24 centers in operation. And the intention is to have an incentive for improving digital transformation in companies. Let me give you an idea of apps.co. All this is online. It's a very simple program promoting digital transformation with online training, creation of content, consolidation, pursuing new markets, expanding to new markets. Some of them have exponential growth. And through this methodology, we are impactful and we are covering a large part of Colombia. In the next slide, we're talking about the citizenry, our raison d'etre. Personally speaking, is what drives me, and it's the reason why I get up so early, because this is nothing if we're not impacting people. And in this regard, we have many initiatives underway to promote and to train people with their skills. And in the following, let me tell you our strategies of digital talent. We have different strategies in the short, mid, and long term. Since we are an ICT ministry in communications, we're interested in digital skills from the elementary school to high school, created skills in STEM, mathematics, and building those capabilities and building computer skills. Some rationale that will allow us to close the gaps in talent and also do some creative campaigns in the culture. And we have also a campaign for girls and for boys where we train 10,000 people. We're creating this capacity in public schools in the region. With this program that is done in partnership or partner with the British Council, we're providing a tool set kit, making sure that we have the theory and the practical know-how. So we work with a tool set so the children can develop this know-how or the knowledge being acquired. We have other initiatives installing digital syllabus and developing interest for children to be interested in science and mathematics and to have more STEM and boys and girls in our sector. Let me tell you briefly that one of the main strategies here is Mission Tech 2122 is what we're going to be trained 19,000 programmers. Something that we launched with our minister, Carla Odinel, and we have 5,000 people. So we're fine tuning this and we're hacking the training model because we customize this in line with their needs, companies. We have more than 64,000 jobs that are sometimes are vacant or 14,000 vacants in capital. So we're training them in data science, AI, and this is the way we are approaching this program with new methodologies. So it's a great strategy to give the skills and the necessary training to people. And I would like to discuss inclusion, one of the key aspects.
Sometimes from the point of view of governance, we talk about general topics, but it's not so easy to understand those programs themselves. For us in the ministry, this is really important so that we can have real inclusion of all Colombians. For December last year, we had around 1.3 million disabled people identified in our official records. So it's 2.3% of the national population. So we believe that that number is higher, but this is what we have recorded. And we were able to give application and to offer them different tools. Convertic is a program by which we provide services through Zoom Text and JAWS so that people can use these programs, this technology, to have access to computers. In the next one, this service center is something that we do together with the Deaf Association in Colombia. And it allows a two-way communication with hearing impaired people. And it helped us because it allowed us to have a communication, to access knowledge. And it is a program that we have been improving, and it's been very valuable during this pandemic because it allow us to have communication with different channels. This is another program, Digital Citizenship. We have a certain level of knowledge of digital competencies. This is one of those programs in which we have the different topics, as you can see here. But we have different topics so that people can learn. We foster this appropriation of technology. We offer useful certifications. And we can reach people with disabilities or victims of warfare in Colombia. And we can accelerate those appropriation topics and all these programs. In the next slide, PORTIC Women program is very important. We have been working with different initiatives. This is one that the minister headed. We have a group to empower women in the use and appropriation of TICs. We foster the development of communities, especially in the digital environment, in problems affecting not only women, but also families and communities. Through these TICs, we know that technology can be an opportunity for women to have equality, to protect their rights, and to avoid or to reduce violence, which sometimes has an impact in many regions in the country. This year, this program included 11,000 women. We were able to do it in an online environment in the different regions this year with the different agencies and secretariats. And we were able to develop a program that is called Chicas STEM, that is for little girls to teach them different skills. We have a low number of women enrolled in technology-related careers. So we need to give them incentives and help them. Sometimes we keep on with these stereotypes, and it would be good to change that so that maybe we don't give only a little boy construction blocks, that we can also give that to a little girl. So it's important for us to understand how to foster communication and participation, involvement of more women, because we need their perspective in this industry. So we are fully convinced that the more children or the younger that we can teach them this is going to give us more benefits in the future. The next program is in TIC I Trust. And with this program, the idea is to foster a safe and responsible use of internet, identifying and preventing risks. More and more kids are connected nowadays because of the pandemic with online classes and having access to devices. So it's important when we talk about inclusion to help parents and teachers and caretakers. There are free seminars. We have helped last year 1.3 million people, and this year with the pandemic, we are going to reach 1 million. So with the last slide, I'm sorry, it took me a little bit more time. For us, this kind of work that we did in Colombia, it's been a continuous effort. We have a president that gave a lot of importance to digital transformation. We have advisors working with the president that helped us promote many of these policies that I mentioned, connected to digital transformation and AI. We have a cybersecurity law and a financial education regulation. We have certain policies, and as you can see, we have transformed those into projects. We need to have good knowledge of governance, of how to develop solid strategies and having an important social impact. Internet has changed us and has changed the processes that impact the lives of all citizens. So we need the commitment of the society as a whole to be open to listen to different perspectives. It should be a cross-functional effort. And we need to strengthen those links so as to take advantage of all these benefits and opportunities and to transform them into something that has an impact. We need to have the capacity of learning and learning again. This is constant evolution. In 2 years' time, we're going to have things that we didn't imagine today. So we need to be open to continue learning, listening to other perspectives. And finally, I want to congratulate you all for being here. I want to encourage you to continue working on this digital transformation idea. All of you in the different regions have a very important job ahead. You have the tools and the potential to change the future of your countries and the region as a whole. Thank you. Thank you, Vice Minister. I think it's very interesting when you talked about cooperation with the private sector to cover this gap, to bridge this gap about lack of technology. We generally have many people going to develop their careers in other countries, work in other countries. If we can keep them, we are going to have human resources in our countries. And I also wanted to tell you that ethics and AI, in the ethics and AI panel, they mentioned that Colombia is the only country in Latin America with an ethics framework for AI. This was mentioned by Mr. Mario Adaro, who is Supreme Court Justice of the province of Mendoza in Argentina. And in that sense, Colombia is leading the region, also in the 5G arena. Thank you for your time, for your generosity, for sharing this with us. If you can share your presentation with us, we can share it with the students. It has a lot of interesting content. So if you don't mind, we can share it with them. Of course, no problem. And I invite you to ask any questions that you may have. Olga has my contact information, and I can give you the links that I mentioned. We have huge challenges as a region. So I want to invite you to continue with the discussions, with this perspective, ideas, so that you can improve all that you are doing. Congratulations and thanks once again. I send greetings to all your team, to Colombia. It's a country that I really like. I hope that I can go back soon enough. Thank you and goodbye. See you soon. 1 minute and then we're going to have the Walt Disney Corporation presentation.